Good morning. I'm here with Dr. Marlena Minkos today. Can you please introduce yourself to the podcast and welcome and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Yeah, so my name's Marlena Minkos. I'm a licensed psychologist and a board certified behavior analyst. And I've been working with children and families in schools for over 15 years now. My work really focuses on helping to better understand children's strengths, their challenges, and their behavior so that I can help families and educators to develop practical, evidence-based strategies to support them at home, in school, and in the community.
Oh, well, thank you for explaining that. Can you tell me where you see clients?
Sure. So I work for a company called Aspire Living and Learning, and we have a new children's behavioral health clinic in Marlborough, Connecticut. So currently we're offering in-person evaluations and parenting support in our clinic. We also offer both in-person and virtual therapy. Right now, we have clinicians who are licensed to provide services in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and Maryland. And we also offer telehealth services to clients in any state that participates in something called SciPact, which allows psychologists to provide care across state lines in participating states.
Oh, and what insurance plans do you currently accept?
Sure. So our clinic currently accepts Husky insurance, as well as most commercial insurances. So we take Cigna, Aetna, and United Healthcare too.
And Husky is the Medicaid for Connecticut, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And what are the age groups that you typically work with?
So we typically work with children from the age of 18 months all the way up to about 22 years old. And then we also support parents with parenting children within those age ranges as well.
That's a big range. Thank you for explaining
Mhm.
that. And do you work with children and adults who have executive functioning challenges?
Yes, absolutely. We work with many individuals with executive functioning challenges. Often, the individuals that we work with have diagnoses of autism or ADHD or anxiety. So we do a lot of work with helping individuals to support their executive functioning skills like planning, organization, completing tasks.
Well, it's summertime, and I do have some questions about the summer now that my kids are home. With school being out, what are some of the best things parents can do to help their children continue building those executive functioning skills and maintain a healthy routine?
Sure. So I think summer is actually a really great opportunity to work on executive functioning skills because there's a little more flexibility, there's a little more time, and there's less pressure than during the school year. So I think one of the biggest things that parents can do is to maintain some type of predictable schedule. So that doesn't mean that every minute of the day needs to be scheduled, but having a consistent time that everyone kind of wakes up, has their meals, goes to bed, and a general plan for the day really helps kids to practice planning and self-management skills while they're still enjoying their summer. And it can be helpful to give children age-appropriate responsibilities. So giving them, kind of chores like packing their own bag for camp, helping to plan meals, completing chores around the house. These type of tasks can really encourage organization, planning, and independence. Rather than kind of doing all of those things for our children, parents can kind of coach them through that process and then gradually step back and give them more independence as they're more confident.
Oh, thank you so much for explaining that. As a parent, I love for my almost teenager to limit recreational screen time to about 3 hours a day and spend the rest
Mhm.
of time reading, learning, being active, or playing, not just on a screen. How can
Mhm.
parents realistically make that happen without constant arguments with this almost teenager?
hmm That is such a common question, and I can definitely relate to that as a parent myself. I think the key is to try to shift the conversation from how do I get my child off their screen to how do I create a day that's full of meaningful activities for my child so that the screen is just one piece of it and they're actually kind of maybe more excited and engaged in some of the other things that they're doing over the course of the day. And so I think, some strategies that can be helpful is potentially creating a daily routine where the most important non-screen priorities come first. So maybe the expectation is that your child, does some reading, maybe they do their chores, maybe they do some type of physical activity or other responsibility before they get to kind of earn their screen time. So that way screens become just part of the balanced day rather than the default activity. Um, I think preteens in particular, especially, often want more independence. So involving them in the plan can be really helpful. Instead of saying, kind of, here's the rule, you might have a conversation with them about, let's try to figure out a way to make sure that you're doing a lot of fun and healthy things over the course of your day, so that they can come up with that plan for what their day looks like. I think it's also really helpful to be consistent with the expectation. So, if you have a rule that's kind of more clear, like you can use your screen for up to 3 hours per day, that's a lot more clear and able to be consistent rather than just kind of saying things like you've been on your phone too much over the course of the day. Being less clear about the expectations can often lead to a lot of negotiating. Um, and then finally, I think it's just important to include a lot of alternative activities that are fun. So things like, family bike rides, trips to the pool, cooking together, sports, involving your child in other activities so that they feel that those things are also fun and might be more appealing than using the electronics. That can be a lot of the times more successful rather than just trying, kind of telling your child to go do something else, kind of helping them to find other fun things to do.
Well, thank you so much for explaining that. I'm really grateful. Thank you for coming to my podcast today. I really appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.